Plaintiff, Darren Scales, owns an entertainment company, and they often do male and female reviews. Darren claims he hired the defendant, a male stripper, to do a show with Darren's witness. But 2 weeks before the show, the defendant backed out, so Darren is suing. Defendant Thomas Crawley has been a male entertainer for years, and he goes by the stage name Luscious. Thomas claims his reputation is very important to him, and he only backed out after he learned that Darren's witness, known as Ridiculous, was in the show. And he's known for performing lewd acts. He's countersuing for breach of contract.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, a couple of years ago, me and my colleagues started an entertainment company called Backstage Entertainment. We promote concerts, male reviews, party plannings, we do female reviews, etc. Recently, we wanted to do a male review for the ladies, to have Mr. Crawley, to come in and, perform. Before...
He's an exotic dancer, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Before, we've used Mr. Crawley before.
Is that his stage name, Mr. Crowley?
Well, AKA Luscious, but I don't want to call a grown man Luscious.
That's his stage name, Luscious. All right.
I don't want to call a grown man Luscious, so I call him by his name.
Go ahead.
Anyway, we hired him to come in and do the show. Like I said before, we used him before, and he has a nice following in Kentucky. So we thought, with him and a couple other dancers, that it would be a nice show. We thought everything was going to work out. We contacted the defendant and the rest of the dancers. They agreed to do it. 2 weeks before the show, he backs out on me, costing me a whole lot of money. That's why we're here. Or, we've used Mr. Crawley before. He
Is that
has
his
a
stage name, Mr. Crowley?
Well, AKA Luscious, but I don't want to call a grown man Luscious.
That's his stage name, Luscious. All right.
Defendant Thomas Crawley is a male stripper whom the plaintiff hired to perform in a show. But once Thomas learned the plaintiff's witness was also in the show, he backed out.
Let me allow him to give background, and then I'll get the specifics of the breach from you.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Most of what he said is definitely true. We've done work in the past together before. It always went off with a hitch. It's been a good working relationship. I've been in the game for 22 years. I've danced in every major city in the United States, even overseas, being in the Caribbean, Jamaica, even Italy. My name is really important to me. So normally he would have sent me the flyer, so then I could put that as well on my Facebook and social media and so on and so forth. Because like you said, I do have a strong following in that area. Never sent me a flyer. I've never seen anything until one of the ladies said, okay, are you coming to town? I said, yeah, I'll be in town. We're going to do it up. We're going to hang out after, so on and so forth. So she sent me the flyer, and she was like, I didn't know you performed with him. I'm saying, who? When she sent me the flyer, before I even replied to her, I picked the phone and I gave him a call. I said, dude, I will not, in any shape or form, perform with this guy.
How far ahead of the show did you tell him that?
It was probably 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, let me hear from you. Sounds like that's the breach that you're suing for. So give me the details of why. Go ahead.
Your Honor, back March the 7th, he sent me his contract and this invoice.
Let me see it, please.
Okay.
On March the 8th, I went ahead and sent his deposit of $326. I have the receipt right here.
Let's see it, please.
Now, everything, like I said, was going great. Well, he called me up 2 weeks before and said, I'm not coming. I said, why is that? He said, because you didn't tell me that you was having Ridiculous on the show, which is my witness, Kevin
That's
House.
Ridiculous?
Yes. Now,
Okay.
now, I said...
You scared of the competition? He's scared of the competition,
Hey, well, Your Honor, it's going to come out. I told him, I said, I didn't think I had to tell you who was on the show. We hired you to come in and do the show, And he was like, well, yeah, man, you should have told me because I would have never told you and all that.
I told you I would have never done the show if I knew he was on the
Why?
show. Based on his reputation and what he does in his show.
What's his reputation?
Well, put it like this here, he's way, way, way over the top with his show. It's very raunchy,
Well, more women
distasteful.
scream for him than they do you? Is that what it is?
No,
Your
it's very
Honor,
distasteful. And if
Your
you've seen a lot
Honor.
of Housewives, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you saw the show
When he came out of
the box and the things he did in the show, and the things he did once he came out the box.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Your Honor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It was horrible. It's not as far as people can go. This is so far I can't discuss it.
So,
it's horrible.
And on top of that,
and the girl's mother, who was the girl's mother?
Candy's mother.
Candy's mother cussed her so bad they fell out because of you.
Exactly.
But
breaking up families.
Let me tell you this.
Now let me hear from him with that nastiness. Come on. State your name.
Okay, I deal with.
State your name.
My name is Kelvin Ridiculous House. I did.
That was some ridiculous stuff you did.
Well, I did what I was paid to do.
I know anybody told you to do that.
I was told to do.
All right. You all can't. Well, as far as your imagination can go about a male stripper, that's where it goes. You are something else.
So that was the reason why I pulled off the show.
You got anything else to say?
Not until you
Remove him from the courtroom. I can't. I'm serious, man. You're gonna have to leave, man. I'm serious, man. I apologize, but I'm serious. You gotta leave, man. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. And if you all knew what I know, and tell him the only reason is because he would be a major distraction the rest of the case. That's all.
Your Honor, if I may say something, Your Honor.
I think I might have stopped watching it after that.
Your Honor, if I may say so, you're right. I don't have no control of what he does when he performs.
Let's leave him alone. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
But the women...
The thing he's saying, what is your defense? Are you saying that the reason you did not comply with the agreement is because he had someone on the show that you didn't want to perform alongside, or you didn't want to perform on the same show?
My likeness, or nothing involved with that show in any type of way. I didn't even want to be in the building. So my
I might have been. I'd be there with you, to be honest, but... Okay. You see, I didn't want him in my building. So I'm sorry. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a likable guy. He smiles. I have absolutely nothing against him. But it's a major distraction to have him there now that I know what the deal is. I got to get y'all out of here. This is too troublesome. I'm serious. It was very troublesome when I saw it on television. Very troubled by it.
My name, my likeness, or nothing involved with that show in any type of way. I didn't even want to be in the building. So my reputation is
I might have been. I'd be there with you, to be honest, but okay.
Defendant Thomas Crawley is a male stripper whom the plaintiff hired to perform in a show. But once Thomas learned the plaintiff's witness was also in the show, he backed out.
You don't think you owe because he had someone on the program you didn't approve of and you couldn't be associated with. The problem is that's not part of the contract. What you're suggesting is that there was a condition attached to the contract. And you being the businessman, you said you've done it hundreds of times all over the world. You should have known to say, hey, who else is on the show with us?
Well, like I said, we've had no issues before, so I kind of gave him leeway. It was a gray area there, but it's also against the law. You're not supposed to be dancing in the club nude without it being in a certain zoning area.
Yeah, but you didn't know he was going to do that.
You're right, I didn't. I had no way of knowing until I saw the flyer on it.
You can't say because I heard he danced with no clothes on. No, you're saying today that the reason I breached the contract is because he was going to have a man dancing who I believe engages in hideous acts. And I'm with you on that belief and on that observation. Good guy, nice guy, seems like he has a great personality, performs hideous acts.
Right.
On the other hand, sir, that's the chance you take when you're on a show with someone.
No, I would have never tried to tell him not to bring the other guy, but I would have not agreed to do the show as well.
But you should have had that in your contracts. Your contracts need to say, I must approve of the other people on the show.
Okay.
You didn't do that.
You're right.
And how much did you lose? And how do you know? What is your lawsuit for?
Right. My flyers that I had to pay for. Here's a.
How much?
It was $405, and basically, like I said, he has a fan base. Mm-hmm. And when he decided not to come, they decided not to come.
How
to
many
the show.
people do you usually have when he performs for
Oh,
you?
Your Honor, when he come, I normally, at the door, I know I'll get 100 people.
100 people on average?
Oh, it's more than that, Your Honor. I
All
just
right,
gave
but
him
the
relationship
100
was always
on
good.
him.
It's just that was
We're
the
talking about the
situation.
number, 100
Yes, sir.
people?
Yeah.
All right, your counterclaim for breach of contract is saying that he didn't pay you.
No, I was countersuing for the monies I would have made selling merchandise and as well performing myself.
Okay.
Which would have been about $30,000.
All right, that can be the case, but you breached the contract. I'm going to conclude because you canceled without a legitimate reason, without a reason that is within the bounds of the contract. You canceled for a condition that wasn't included in the contract. People can have conditions. It could say he needs a dressing room with champagne in it. That could be a condition. He needs a big suite for all the women who are going to follow him back to the hotel. That could be a condition.
I put that in my rider.
That's right, put it in your contract. And so those are the things that would be conditions or riders or addendums, however you want to refer to them. And unless they're there, people don't have to adhere to them. It's not in here that there's a condition that you approve or have input or determine who's going to be on the program with you. Therefore, he hasn't breached. 2231, that's your judgment. Your claim is dismissed. You're the one that breached, not him. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's possible. I don't have a negative. There's nothing negative about him as a person. I just didn't want to be a part of that show because of my values and who I believe I am.
Well, you know, I really don't know. I mean, like I said, it's nothing personal between me and him.
Hey, I wouldn't let nobody come between me and my money. That's how I see it. Regardless of what his act is. I made my money and I did a good job at making it.